Let's talk about this this very obvious article from Timcast.com. The headline should be just duh. But it's half of Democrats and 70% of all voters say inflation is affecting their family budget.
No kidding.
Pollsters at iCitizen asked voters if the current rate of inflation is affecting your family budget. And yes, broken down by gender, male and female responses were nearly identical, with 74.5% of men and 74.6% of women saying yes. Amazing. When looking at location, all regions of the country had almost identical responses. Clearly, inflation is having a very broad impact across the country, irrespective of who you are, how old you are, where you live, what your politics are, and the level of your education. So, subhead, duh, for this article. But why is it? Why is it getting worse? Why is it that it seems to be only the Republicans are like, hey, stop spending, and the Democrats are like, spend more?
Well, that's because there's a big transfer of wealth and people extorting a national tragedy for their personal benefit and the benefit of their friends in the multinational corporations that are robbing this country blind, as of course it's a sinking ship that's going down very dramatically fast. And before COVID, there was one person worth over $100 billion. Now there's 9. 10 of the richest people before COVID were worth $695 billion. Now they're worth $1.36 trillion.
Well, let's think about that for a real quick second. Do we think the lockdowns are going to get worse? I vote yes.
Oh, yeah.
It could go either way. I think there's a probability that Omicron could be the best case scenario and could be the end of this. There's a possibility of that.
There's a possibility they exploit the transmissibility and say it's getting worse.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll get worse. What do you think? Do you think you voted worse or better?
I'm right on the razor's edge there. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
White pill. It's going to get better.
It's going to get better.
Yeah.
So then you want to short Amazon.
That's why I'm on the edge here.
I'm not trying to give any stock advice. The stock market is a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the royal whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
An individual, if it is going to get better, you want to short Amazon stock because people are going to start shopping it. Other businesses will start popping up. There'll be competition.
Yeah.
But if it's going to get worse, Amazon stock is going to keep going through the roof. Moderna stock, Pfizer stock. So you too can be a billionaire, just like these big tech moguls and everything like that who bought a bunch of this stock. Nancy Pelosi just invested in what she invests in. She knows what's up, right?
What is she investing in? We should have a stock ticker of everything she's doing every single day, just so we can see what's going on there, just to kind of like call it out even more. But it's pretty crazy what's happening in the financial world, because like we know it's bad, but it's a lot worse than we're even being told right now. And it's shocking the levels of money that's just being printed with the touch of a button, and how much of that money is going into private hands like BlackRock.
Roblox. Pelosi's got 10,000 shares in Roblox.
What?
She's got CrowdStrike. That's not surprising.
What's CrowdStrike?
CrowdStrike, it's a security. Let me make sure I can read it very specifically as to what they say it is. CrowdStrike provides cloud-based software used in security of computers, servers, and mobile phones. The stock pulled a bit back, blah, blah, blah. CrowdStrike was just I want to be careful for legal reasons, but very much associated with a lot of the stories about Democrats and servers.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Right. Let's see what else they got. She got a Tesla. What does she have? She has mandatory filings in January show Pelosi exercised 25 call options on Tesla. Let's see. There we go. NVIDIA. Really?
Interesting.
NVIDIA. Netflix. That seems like a no-brainer. And is that all they have?
6, but you got to continue, I guess.
Oh, you got to click to continue. What is this?
Oh,
it's Insider Monkey. PayPal.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Now it's going to do the thing.
Oh.
Apple. She got Apple. What else she got? She got Alphabet. She's got Microsoft.
No surprise.
And she's got Facebook.
Wow.
I mean,
she's betting on big tech.
no, she's betting on lockdowns.
Yeah, she is.
Nancy Pelosi, everything she bought, some of them are obvious, but she's invested in companies that are very important for lockdowns.
Computer security, yes.
Well, I'm not super worried. I'm not saying like literally everything, but the stuff she's invested in, these big tech companies, what are people going to be doing under lockdown? They're going to be using computers. They're going to be on Facebook.
Kids will be
Alphabet,
playing
Google,
Netflix.
Apple Inc. They're going to be watching Netflix.
Yeah. You got to get them in the metaverse somehow.
PayPal is going to be digital transactions, right? So I'm not saying that's evidence of necessarily NVIDIA. What does NVIDIA do? Do you guys know what NVIDIA does?
No.
Graphics
GPUs. Okay. So you're going to be having people play video games.
Yeah.
It's metaverse, baby.
So let's place bets about
Tesla,
that.
electric cars.
Yeah, place bets.
CrowdStrike is just, whatever. Roblox. Roblox, the Wonder Tale stories of children's books and infinite possibilities of stories and worlds. Well, I don't know about that one.
Kids
But
play inside.
putting kids more in video games, metaverse stuff. I'm not saying all of this is definitive proof that she's very much like on board with metaverse or whatever, but she's certainly invested in companies that would be involved in a metaverse like reality or a lockdown reality.
Or, the future of pod living, the future of the metaverse. The
She doesn't
future-
have any bug companies, does she?
No.
Wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it would be that on the nose, that
Yeah.
That'd
obvious.
be a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. You guys, we know what these people want to do, right?
Yep.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yep.
What kind of company could we start or invest in that works perfectly for people who own nothing?
A sharing company.
A what?
Sharing company. You
Sharing-
share your devices. You share your
clothes.
equipment. You share your
and,
clothes.
And what do they want us to eat?
Bugs.
So we should start bug farms, dude. We'll be rich.
Yeah.
We'll start a
Cricket farm.
no, a cicada farm.
Oh.
Yeah.
My soul wouldn't be able to live with that.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
you
Just
can't
thinking
do that.
It's capitalism, baby.
Yeah.
You know where they're going.
Let's
And
make
you know what the
that
best part is?
gel.
They'll probably subsidize it. The government will be like, this is in line with our plans. Here's free money to run your business.
Yes.
And then you can sell all the grubs and roaches. And I wonder if roly-polies taste good.
Oh, I guess
pill
we're about
bugs.
to find out, aren't we?
There's way
Little-
too much.
little-
Some
little-
funding and figure it out.
You sprinkle it on your bug cream,
Like
your
crunchy
fungus
stuff?
ice cream,
Yeah.
and
Well, it
you
doesn't have to be good. It just has to sustain you to the point where you can just,
Calories.
live
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think
Yeah.
it's just going to be goo, just like in the Matrix, and
Like in
either it's just
Snowpiercer,
injected
yeah.
into your veins
That-
or into the back of your head, or
That was kind of dumb though, because they could just plug you into your own mini matrix like they were doing with Neo, and then you could eat a buffet
Yeah.
and enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? And I like how they're like, the brain makes it real. That's stupid. The brain makes it real. So what happens if you eat a whole cake? Will your body like vomit in real life? There's nothing to vomit up. Bile, I guess.
Ugh.
But they had to. Otherwise, it was just like, you wouldn't die in the Matrix. So, speaking of the Matrix, Matrix is coming out
very
Yeah,
soon,
huh?
in a few hours,
Yep.
in a few hours. Yeah.
On HBO Max?
on
Is that what
HBO
it is?
Max,
Oh, okay.
3 a.m. Eastern.
3 a.m.
Oh,
Eastern
interesting.
is what they're saying.
Are you gonna watch it?
I might just wake up just to see it. I'm
kinda sucks.
I'm a huge Matrix fan, but I do believe this is going to be the end of the kind of real Matrix
Yeah,
trilogy and the
this is
introduction
find
of the
out.
New World Order Matrix trilogy that goes along with the propaganda and narrative and talking points of all the bullcrap that's already being shoved down our throats. That's how I see it. I'm a little pessimistic on that. But I still want to see it because I'm a big fan of the trilogy. I remember when the first movie came out, I was just like, "Whoa, this is insane!" I remember watching it and be like, "There's so many representations things of real society."
You know, it'd be the funniest thing ever if in the new Matrix there's a scene where like Neo is like, like in the trailer he's eating all the blue pills, and then he's like, "I gotta clear my head." So then he's like, "I'm gonna go to the movies." And he goes to a movie. There's a huge line of people, and there's agents scanning Vax passports. And he's like, this is the Matrix. And then they're like, just like jabbing at all the people who did.
Yeah, I already did one video about my kind of theory about what was going to be happening in the Matrix on my platform, but people are calling it the woke tricks, and I think they're going to be
Yeah,
right,
they're going to
sadly.
be like, Neo, you weren't really the one.
It's this blue-haired person that
It's
has
this
all the powers.
Non-binary
Yeah.
Exactly.
person.
It's a lady.
Who was the one the whole time. And, it
And
wasn't
even
you.
if it is okay, but don't make it where you have to shove it down people's throats. Like, you can make a character that's whatever you want them to be, but when you overtly try to push a political message and you stop worrying about the kind of entertainment value of it, that's when it just gets annoying, because like we could see the subconscious propaganda, the subliminal messages you're putting on there, but when you're trying to make it like overt for
it's-
low
right.
people
Look,
who are not intelligent, it's just angry.
The issue is people who are lacking talent making movies. That's what it really is. They're ideologues and they have no talent. Because you watch the new Ghostbusters compared to Girlbusters. The new Ghostbusters, the new team, these 4 kids, you've got a boy, a girl, you got an Asian kid, and a black
Diversity.
girl. Yeah, it's a completely diverse cast of young people who put on the jumpsuits. But there's no like overt, the white man and like patriarchy. It was literally just they happen to be people, and they're ghost busting. Girlbusters was literally like a bunch of really angry, stereotypical, nasty dudes, and like, these Mary Sue characters doing slapstick comedy. Talk about really awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, most entertainment is propaganda. It's used for weaponized political purposes. It's been for a very long time. That's why the CIA is so interconnected with Hollywood. That's why the CIA is literally out there promoting Black Panther and other kind of movies out there that fit their narrative. They're writing scripts in many instances with the military-industrial complex, giving a lot of movies and Hollywood studios favors to use a lot of their equipment in exchange for rewriting their scripts and always making them the good guys, no matter what the situation is. They're also rewriting this. They also rewrite the scripts for the benefit of China. So many times, in so many egregious ways, Disney made a movie just trying to appease just China in itself, and to see this layer of intervention when something is supposed to be entertainment, something is supposed to be pure, something is supposed to be just something that's going to inspire you, but it's used to re-educate you, it's used to change your line of thinking. It's horrible to see, because a lot of people unsuspectingly see it and they get influenced by it.
Sure, but I don't really care all much about that. What I care about is bad content. You know, like the problem with Captain Marvel, the problem with these overtly political movies and stuff is it's just bad content. It's mean, it's insulting. In many ways, it's off-putting, right? One of the things I brought up with like the Captain Marvel film is that she literally robs a guy. Yes. Like, she's not a good person. He tells her to smile, so she steals his clothes. Jeez. And I'm just like, it's kind of villainous behavior. I can't root for her. You know? And so they think they're making this powerful statement where she like tells the man, because he said smile, haha, and I'm like, the heroes are supposed to be like, I will not be dragged into your petty BS. So the issue is just bad content. You make a film with a female protagonist, Hunger Games. I thought Hunger Game was fantastic. Oh, look, it's a female hero. You know what I mean?
First one.
But then you end up with these movies like Captain Marvel or Girl Busters, and it's just annoying. Not good. Like I was saying with Ghostbusters, the new one. Diverse cast for the new Ghostbusters. I don't care. Cool. It's just a bunch of kids. It was funny. The little podcast kid, he was great.
But the content was there. That's the main thing about the new Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Rudd was hilarious.
Yeah, always is, for the most part. So, is the original Matrix and that original series propaganda? Does it qualify as propaganda, or is it just too entertaining to be propaganda?
Well, there's a lot of parallels to our current society that a lot of people could make their kind of own understandings of, and their own kind of guesses to what it really is in their kind of life form. So I think just that as an art form in itself is pretty rare and unique, where you could say, oh, this is an explanation for this in our society, and you could have so many different explanations. I thought that was great, but it was predominantly still focused on central controllers, you being a battery, you being a slave, you fighting the people who are central controllers who are extorting, robbing you of your life. I thought that overall message, like a lot of messages out there, was overall somewhat of a very intriguing one that was thought provoking. Instead of just beating you over the head with propaganda. There's propaganda everywhere. Everything's propaganda.
Isn't it better to be in the Matrix?
That's what
oblivious.
Some people would argue.
Ignorance is bliss.
I would totally disagree with you.
Steak.
It's like being an ostrich with your head in the sand and your butt all the way out there, ready for some top-notch globalists to come in and do the unspeakable things with you. So I prefer not to have my head in sand. I like having my.
But let's think about this. Let's think about
swivel, looking left and right.
How would you feel if all of a sudden you woke up in this weird room and your whole life was fake? And you have no idea where you are. That'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would you think?
That was wild. That was crazy.
No, you'd be freaking out. You'd be like, where am I? What's going on? You'd be like, my name is Luke, and I run a YouTube channel. And then they're going to come in there and be like, no, you don't. That was never real. You were in the Matrix, bro.
It's my identity.
What it comes down to for me is like in which, whether I'm in the Matrix or not in the Matrix, because I was in the Matrix for a long time, just totally dialed out to everything that was happening. So I understand the sort of goofy sense of peace that you feel when you're in the Matrix. But I guess I need to know where I'm going to feel the most sense of purpose. Do I feel a sense of purpose in the Matrix, or am I useless? Or do I feel a sense of purpose outside of the Matrix and seeing what's really happening? Or not? Like, that's what it would come down to for me. Where's the sense of purpose?
I think the Matrix, if you were in the Matrix, it would be hell. Everything would be perfect. You would always have steak. And I think
that's not the Matrix.
Not necessarily, yeah.
No, the Matrix, they literally say that the first iteration was perfect and people rejected it. So they created a more realistic version with suffering, and humans accepted it.
I'm more using it as an example. If you would put yourself in the Matrix where you would get everything you wanted. And if you would get everything you would wanted, you would be miserable in my perspective. That's the
didn't-
argument.
Not
that
if
I'm
you didn't
making.
know.
Maybe.
Let's say this. In base reality, Luke is an overweight, short, unattractive layabout with no ambition and no drive to fix himself. So he enters his own private, Zuckerverse, using the Brain app, and it blocks out memories of your real life so that you live a life where you earn all of these things, and it just so happens it all comes to you. You'd be very happy. You'd be like, look at all my success. You wouldn't realize it was pre-programmed to make you successful. You'd be happy with where you are. You'd think you'd achieved it.
You would need barriers of success. You would need to work for it in order to get it, because if you were just given it, you wouldn't appreciate it. But if you had to struggle, sacrifice, work hard, put some blood, sweat, and tears into it, yes.
Yeah,
and
but
if
like-
there's a simulation that does that, that's crazy.
Look, in World of Warcraft, for instance, you got to put in the hours if you want to grind for that, legendary or epic gear. So yeah, you'd play a game. It would be, let's put it this way. In the real world, when you go out into a field and you fight wild boars, you're not very successful with just a small dagger like you would be in World of Warcraft. You can run up to 100 wild boars, at the start of Warcraft if you're playing Human Alliance or whatever, and you just walk up and go like, bah, and the boar dies. Go run up to a wild boar in the real world and see what happens. The point is, video games there's a challenge, and there's grinding, but it's so easy. My point is, you could be in the Matrix, and you think you're struggling. Man, this video game can be hard sometimes, but come on. Imagine fighting a real grizzly bear. It's crazy. For all you know, you're in this Matrix because you're a layabout loser, and you wanted an easy version of life.
We could be literally in the metaverse right now.
In a sense, I believe we are.
And like the whole goal of the
Snap.
metaverse is to like program people to love Zuckerberg. So
It's not
like
working.
that's the only way to escape the simulation is to finally accept Zuckerberg into your heart, and then you wake up and you're like, where am I? And then there's a big picture of Mark right in front of you. You're like, I love you. And then
loved
there's
Big
two
Brother.
doctors. I'm like, congratulations, you've
Yes.
escaped the simulation. There's that comic, I love it, where it's a guy and he's holding the silica gel
Oh my
pack,
gosh,
and it
yes.
says do not eat, and he goes, those big wigs at the silica gel factory can't tell me what to do, and he eats it. And the next one is him waking up, and there's two scientists saying, congratulations, you've escaped the
Every
simulation.
time I see a silica packet now.
Yeah, can't tell me what to
eat
do.
it.
Yeah, don't eat those.
Don't do
eat
that.
them.
Yeah, don't. They're not good.
What if because we talk a lot about religion and stuff. What if we like reality is effectively a simulation, but it's a sorting algorithm. The people everyone's born into a matrix, and then everyone lives a life in the matrix, and then only certain people who have certain attributes are the ones who actually get to come out of it and go back to base reality. What if it's effectively like some kind of human development chamber for, new humans or whatever? What if after you live your life, you wake up from the matrix, but you're a baby?
That's just
And you're like,
reincarnation.
"Well," and they're like, you've lived a full life, and now you're a baby, and now you can apply all that
Reincarnation.
wisdom and knowledge into
Yeah.
a new life in base reality.
Except for
That's
the
the thing.
reincarnation aspect of that you tacked on there at the end. I think that's almost certainly the case. It has
Reincarnation?
to be. No. Accepting that part.
Not that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
No
Chris.
reincarnation, but we're almost
Right.
certainly living in a matrix.
Like when you're born, they
Yeah.
put you in the matrix and then program your brain to experience like 80 years of life. And then it happens in the span of like 3 months as a baby. So you're like, all the babies are just like regular people walking around and being like, whoa, I'm a baby again. And then but you grow up and you have all that knowledge from a full life. That would be an effective society, wouldn't it? Sort of, I guess.
I'm not
But
necessarily-
if only some people made it out of the matrix, then you'd have a very homogenized culture because the matrix would effectively choosing which humans could come out of it. You know
Well,
what
I mean, that's the dichotomy of heaven and hell. It's two different homogenized cultures. At the
Yeah,
end of the
what if
day.
like when you die, if you're like you qualify for hell, it just ejects you into a sewer pipe, and if you qualify for heaven, like a metal arm picks you up and like puts you in like a bed,
Certainly.
and then
Yeah.
you're like, some people accidentally get woken up to it, and they're like, this is terrible, and then they tell everybody, and they're like, I saw a crazy light, and it was fire, and it was awful, and I was like, well, yeah, that was the meat grinder, bro. It was just dropping you.
Yeah.
Luke's eyes just lit up.
I'm looking into I'm looking into like multi dimensions and all these other energetic fields. I think there's a lot of things that we don't understand. I don't think we're supposed to understand them, And I think we should be okay with that, and not try to always, try to see. I need to know this. Maybe we don't need to know it. Maybe I think it's better if we don't.
Oh,
If you
well, yeah.
don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of ambiguity there, but I think that there's something to be said for the human spirit. And I think that you basically have a certain amount of time dedicated to a human shell, a corporeal form, and then beyond that, the spirit is liberated to one side of the matrix or the other. I mean, that almost certainly has to be the case. I really believe that.
Well, you have a choice in life. You could go
Right.
through the very, the light side or the dark side, the love or evil. I think there are two big kind of energetic forces out there, and if you give your life to one, it's going to propel you in that kind of direction. And you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of discernment. You have a lot of very tough decisions to make in this life, and I think those decisions will be with you as an energetic force forever, because energy cannot be destroyed
Yes.
nor created, only transferred. So what you decide to do in this life is up to you, but you're giving a lot of different choices. You could either be on the side of evil or good. I choose good. I try to, and my interpretations and understanding of that, and I try to do as much good as I can.
And if that's not the case, then what's the point of character?
Yeah.
What's the point of developing character and then maintaining character?
Yep.
I can't think of one.
I can't think of one either.
Yeah.
How do you define good?
Basic understanding of not hurting people, helping people, and respecting their bodily autonomies, respecting their human rights, respecting their sorry, I can't even say this correctly, inalienable
There you
rights.
go.
There we go. I got that out there. And I think not forcing people to do something or hurting people for your benefit is the other side of it.
I agree with all of that, but I'll offer a simpler definition. Good is truth, bad is lies.
There you go.
Simple.
Yeah.
I like that.
There's
Bad?
truth and there's lies.
What if your mom asks you if she's fat? You should just tell her, yeah, you're fat, Mom.
You should be honest with her.
I mean, it's not necessarily. I don't know. I don't necessarily
what if she
agree with that question in the context of good truth and bad lies.
But I guess
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
what if there's your mom buys a new dress and you think it's tacky and she's like, how do you like my new dress? I saved up for it. I'm so excited. And you're going to be like, it's tacky and gross. I hate it. Or are you going to be like, I will lie and say I like it because it's important to her?
Well, there is one school of thought that suggests that truth always pierces and it always hurts. There are lies that are thin, wispy skins, and there is truth, which is always a dart, and it's always painful. Otherwise, it wouldn't be truth. So there is something to be said for truth in that moment, but there's also something to be said for what is your mother's state. Is your mother in a state of mind where this piece of truth could just pierce her and destroy her?
Can you think of a circumstance in which truth feels good?
Yeah.
Not to somebody that is
Being lied to.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it could jar them like a sleepwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, truth can feel good, but if the truth is something like, I baked cookies, it's like, sure, that's just like a thing you did. You know what I mean?
Right.
But truth, we're typically referring to snapping someone out of the lies, telling them about what's going on. And people typically do not react well to it.
Well, I guess I would reanalyze, I don't know how to say that, but I guess I would reframe it like this. Like you bake cookies and you give them to somebody. It's just like, I made these for you. That's in a sense a kind of truth sharing. It's just like it's thoughtfulness. It's something outside of truth, but it also is in the same spirit of what I would call truth, if that makes any sense at all.
I'm like, you're fat and that dress is tacky.
And
Where
here's
you
the
going?
cookies.
Luke. Here's the cookies.
Give me some gosh darn cookies. I'm hungry. But there's tact.
I don't know. I think good is creation and evil is destruction. But within evil, there is some good, and within good, there is some evil.
Of course.
What I mean by that is we want to create more. We want more people. We want people to grow and flourish. We want to develop. We want to invent. We want to explore. We want to expand. We want to create complex systems by bringing energy together and then organizing it. And bad is when people just destroy it. But sometimes you need to destroy in order to create. So if the ultimate goal is creation, there could be some destruction. It's not inherently evil. And if the ultimate goal is destruction, sometimes there's creation, and that creation is evil as well. So, for example, you're like, I want to destroy everything, so I'm going to make a new method of destroying everything. It's like, okay, you're doing bad things. And you might be saying, I want to create things, but I have to tear down that machine that's destroying everything. So there is some destruction, right? Yin yang.
Yeah, without no evil, there's no love. Without love, there's no evil. So
this touches on something that Jordan Peterson analyzes in depth. I mean, it's just like too much order is totalitarianism.
Yep.
It's Nazi Germany. Too much chaos is a school shooting. You know, and you can't have too much without being able to balance it out for some sort of harmony to emerge.
But freedom too is also an aspect of love, of truth, that is also a very important virtue of that positive energetic force.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.